Right, how's it go? Um, here's the thing: we all order pick sets. I think when we get started, we order the cheapy pick sets. Here you can see was one that I bought off Take a Lot, which is our equivalent of Amazon. And one can start picking locks. And I always say, okay, get a cheap set, and because these things cost a lot of money, and let's just be honest, it might not be for you. So don't be spending thousands when you can spend a couple of hundred on a cheapy set, and you can get going. So what happened with me? This was my adventure. Is I indeed got a cheapy set, and it was working for me. It was working fine, and then I started getting slightly more complicated locks, and everyone, the entire consensus in the lock sport community was saying, it's your tension control. Your tension control is ultra important, and which it is. I mean, let's make no mistake, it is ultra important. But I started finding that I could get a bit of tension control, but I wasn't getting such great feedback on some locks, and I wasn't really starting to, I was starting to hit a lot of walls. And so, as we do, we watch videos, and a lot of the guys in the videos are saying, if you got a problem with a lock, you look at the bitting, you look at this, you look at that, you look at your tension control. And one tends to watch a lot of very experienced guys showing you how to pick a lock, and they're all going through it, and they're all saying the same thing, that, if you're not coming right, it's tension control that, or it could be the wrong pick. But I've not yet encountered a video that said, what is the correct pick? Because I just ended up trying different profiles, and they don't always work. So I started hitting a wall, started getting frustrated, and started working a bit instead on my raking game. I also found better quality picks with Sparrows, because it's our local suppliers. As you can see, we have a number of them, all different profiles and everything. So, and I thought, okay, well, most of these can be opened with raking. And indeed, most of them can. This one, for example, rakes very quickly. And what I got to tell you is that Sparrows has some particularly wicked, evil rakes okay, that's a Medusa. I haven't really had a lot of success with that, but these other rakes, lockbusters of note, even this Twin Peak, absolute lockbusters, and my raking game really improved, and it continued until I hit the next wall. And this was the next wall. It's a BBL, and I got to tell you, BBL is as probably one of our better, according to me, locks on the market. They have taken to putting extreme bitting right in the beginning of the key, which for an average lockpicker is going to stump you. And I found that this is possibly one of the only locks that I have not been able to rake. Nothing worked on this. It's not happening. And obviously, maybe an offset rake or something, So I tried a single pin picket also with very little joy, and started losing a bit of heart. And I'm thinking, maybe I just don't have it. Started to get a bit frustration, and so in my near desperation, I decided to bite the bullet and get one of these multi-pick practice locks. As you can see, they're repinnable. You can see what's going on. There's a whole selection of pins, and there's a key with extreme bitting. So out of the box, we all know this is going to be a bit of a tricky pick. So this is not a review on the multi-pick lock. This is a bit of a story on the right lockpick, because again, like I thought, well, this is really going to be nice. I mean, you can see the shear line, you can see what's going on, and I can repin it, and I can get a lock. I can even repin it. It has the same profile, according to this other key that fits in here, and I can actually repin it to that one. It has the same keyway, and then see. I can pick and then see what's going on. Why can't I pick this lock? What's it? But I have a lot of these in stock. They're all new, and I am replacing them relatively often. So I've already gutted like 4 of them, and I'm getting a bit over gutting locks. Um, I want to see if I can pick them and use them as spares. Sometimes there's a problem with the lock. You've got to put in a temporary one until you get them a new out of the box lock. There you go, off you go, job done. And what I found is that the picks, and this is a surprise. This is where this lock pleasantly surprised me. I actually have not changed the pinning order in it at all. I've changed a couple of spools, but I haven't changed the pinning order. Unfortunately, the end one is the binding pin on this one. So that's one you have to get to first. So my favorite pick of all time has been the Sparrow's Euro. There's very little for single pin picking that it really hasn't done the job, obviously, until we got to this one. And that's when I got this lock, and I learned something, that when they say maybe you're using the wrong pick, it doesn't mean a different profile. Now, as a beginner, I did not know that these things came in different thicknesses. So when I first got the Sparrow's Euro, it was great. You can see I've engraved a 6 on here. And then I ordered another one in case I bend it, and this one came out, and I took one look at it, and it's flimsy, and it's like mentally weak, and I thought, no man, this is crap. I had a bit of a problem with this pick. I'm just going to bend it, and I don't want that. So I ordered more, a variety of picks, making sure they were all 0.6 millimeters, so I can get the locks open. And still, I wasn't succeeding. Most of the time, I was not succeeding. And up until I got this multi-pick lock. So it's not, for me, so much that you can see what's happening when you're setting the pins. What I've noticed here is you can see what the pick is doing, because this is the 0.6 millimeter. Now we work in millimeters here, and not in 1/1,000,000th of a washing machine. I've noticed that it doesn't get past these tight paracentric keyways. And I've noticed that if you're in there, it's going to get jammed on the warding. Now you've got tension on this. And what's happening is it's a bit too wide. It's this width, not this thickness, that's becoming the problem. It's the width of the pick. And I realized that, you're going to hear it. Now, if I can do this without that lock there, I mean, this is great for something like that, where it's straight up, and you can feel your way through the pins. Here you can't, because I'm going to try this now. As you trying to slide it around, you can actually feel it clicking. Now you see that driver pin isn't moving, but you're hearing a click that sounds very similar to a pin setting. So you think you've got a set, you don't have a set, because you're busy setting the warding. What has also happened with me is that I'll rake it into a false set, I'll keep the tension on, and I'll start picking, but then I'm pressing down on the pins, and it feels like a spool pin, but it isn't. What I'm doing is I'm actually rotating the plug with the pick. So then I thought, let me have a go with this. And this is the 0.4 millimeter pick. And I've noticed that you can actually get around the warding quite successfully. Then when I got this lock, and I realized, no, but hang on, we need to get to the back pin first. you can comfortably, okay, this is not the right one because you do need a deeper hook for that. My failures have come from a pick that is too thick. I've been using the 0.6 millimeter picks, where actually a 0.4 millimeter pick with the same profile is the correct pick for this particular lock. I'm not talking about normal padlocks. We have a lot of these here in South Africa, and they all take a very similar keyway, as you can see, and it's very, very, very tight, and especially with your deeper picks, where, let me see if I can grab one here. And this is the SS Dev from Sparrows, but that's also one that I've actually filed it down, so I can get it in there to get to the back over here. Now here we use bottom of the keyway tension, which is considered top of the keyway tension in the States, because our locks sit like that, not like that. And if you get it all the way to the back without hitting this hardy hole pin over here, let me get my finger on it. So you got to get past it, otherwise you're going to get an overset. You actually physically cannot get it down because it's too big for the warding. So yeah, I'm all for buying a cheapo set. This was the cheapo set. I have measured it, a bit rough around the edges, but it's actually 0.55 millimeters, which is quite surprising. My advice to you is get the cheapo set, and then start seeing which picks work for you. And then when you order new picks, I would get them one by one, but I would get them in 0.4 millimeters and 0.6 millimeters, because the minute I changed to a 0.4 millimeter profile it's actually a little over 0.4 millimeters, but the minute I changed to this lighter profile, I'm telling you, it was like chalk and cheese. It was a complete and utter game changer. I could start feeling my way through the pins with absolute ease. I could start knowing exactly what it is I'm doing in there. I mean, I'm not saying I'm great yet, but this one that I have not defeated, I mean, this is prime naughty box stuff. Rakes, nothing. I even tried the pick gun, nothing. Worked on it, but the 0.4 mil pick, game changer. So guys, just I see a lot of questions. What pick set should I get? What pick set should I get? Which ones is that? Personally, I would do single pick ordering, and then when you get a pick with a profile, get a 0.4 millimeter and get a 0.6 millimeter for your heavier locks. I like to pick older locks because that's what you're going to get out in the field. You're not going to get brand new stuff. You're going to get older stuff. So sometimes you have to add a lot more tension on, and you got a straighter keyway, and your 0.4 mil is going to bend, so you will need your 0.6. But on your tighter stuff, your 0.6 mil is just going to give you the wrong information all the time. Anyway, hope this helps, guys. Thanks a lot.